Okay, YouTube, wanted to bring you guys up to date a little bit. I've been very much slacking on videos. Well, first of all, some bad news for those of you who are fond of it. The red all-wheel drive Civic here has been sold. The new owner hasn't taken possession yet, but he's already put a deposit on it and we'll be picking it up here shortly. And as most of you know, I also sold my Datsun. So I was missing the Datsun, and I decided that I was going to build a new car. And this is what I've been working on for the last week or so. It's a 1978 Chevy Malibu. Give you a little walk around. I bought the car as a roller. What I just finished doing here was notching the cross member, as you see there. Cut it out and boxed it. Help clear the oil pan, because what this car is going to be here is a junkyard 5.3, where the Datsun was the junkyard 4.8. So the reason I sold the Datsun was because I didn't want to put a cage in the car. I wanted it to be a street car, but I didn't want to cage it, and I kept getting kicked out of the track. What's nice about this car is it's got a cage. In fact, it had too much of a cage. I ended up cutting some of it out because it was beyond 8.50 cert. The guy was on his way to the next level with it. So he had dash bars in here and stuff. A dash bar going across. These are going to be converted to swing out here shortly. I'm going to cut them and make them so they swing out. I have another seat for it. The seat's just out because I'm doing some wiring and whatnot. But this will be the Datsun's replacement. The goal with this car is junkyard 5.3. I'm thinking about twin turbos. That's what I've got picked out. Very clean car. Got some minor dings and scratches. Black interior, which I like. Battery's been moved to the trunk. It's got a... can't really see because it's pretty dark under here, but it's got a sumped gas tank. See some tape plugged in one hole here. I wish I had a light to show you, but my battery's too dead to put my light on. But it's got a 12 bolt rear, which is pretty strong. 33 spline axles, Moser axles. I'm gonna have to change the gears in it. It's got 411s in it right now. That won't work. I'm gonna have to go with like a 308 or something. But this is what I've been working on for the last few weeks, and why you haven't heard nothing from me. Pretty soon I'll be pulling the trigger as soon as the guy comes and gives me the rest of the money and takes the red car away. I'll be pulling the trigger on this and hopefully be back running a low 9, high 8 second street car again. So just wanted to introduce you to the Malibu. You'll be seeing upcoming videos and footage of this build. My buddy just gave me this steering wheel here. It's a Grant wheel that he had. This thing had a big old grandma steering wheel in it. So, but that's it. We will put some new footage in here shortly. Okay guys, another long overdue update on the Malibu. I am severely slacking and I'm so sorry for that. I just have never had a project where I'm so down to the wire for time to get finished and yet has so much fabrication required and thought. I probably have as many hours scratching my head and thinking as I do actually working. So let's get you caught up. As far as the interior goes, we got the door bar swing arms put in. I think I've already showed you that. If I didn't, there they are. I got the dash tore apart. For the most part, got everything working in there. As far as the fuel gauge goes, I'm going to figure out how to put an aftermarket speedometer and tack in that little space that's there yet. I got my boost gauge and my oil temperature gauge hooked up and working, and I think I've showed you all this, but I'll show you again. I made this, let's get some light on in here for you. There we go. I made this panel to go there, head unit, and digital gauge there that hooks into the OBD2 port. A digital gauge allows you to see any parameter in the motor that the computer shows. This is what used to be in that spot. The guy had this panel there, so I'm replacing it with that. Let's see. That's about as far as I've gone inside on the car, if I remember right. Yeah. See, I don't got nothing new to report in the trunk. Fuel system I'm starting to piece together. Obviously the motor's in, as you see. Headers have been modified for wastegates here. Don't pay no attention to this stuff. This is all just for mock-up. I'm really behind here on what I want to do. So far I've got the engine installed, both manifolds, both exhaust manifolds are mounted permanently and braced. The brace is here, bolted fast to the alternator bracket. Brace here, running down, bolted fast to the frame, all removable with bolts. This side over here, got a bracket down here, kind of stopping it from going side to side on from the head, the same as this one did. And then down here, another bracket, bolted to the frame. Exhaust is on. Well, the mocked up part of the exhaust is on. This is all finalized and finished. I'm waiting on the mufflers to get here. This side's laying over there on the floor. Got that welded up yesterday. So L33 motor, twin 72 millimeter twin scroll T3 turbos. Let's see, got my fuel system done. Got my 80-pound injectors in yesterday with the spacers so that the truck fuel rail will fit. Got my wiring harness installed, thanks to my buddy who does these up. You know, you send him a stock harness and he goes through the thing and makes it plug and play just like a car stereo or a car alarm install. Everything's marked and easy to put into the vehicle. I'm going to try to run the stock fuel pressure regulator and fuel rails. We'll see if they can support the power I need. Everybody goes aftermarket when it comes to that. Here I got a fitting that changes it from the truck's quick disconnect like you see here to 8AN, and then I got 45, and coming over there on the firewall is going to be a fuel filter off that blue line over there eventually. See what else. Oh, I got the ECU installed, the OBD2 port. Everything's ran through this hole in the firewall and tucked very nicely up under the dash. See it up in there? Little fuse panel wired in. So that'll be for the computer's going to control the fans just like in a stock car. This is going to go to a fan relay. There's one in the back that'll be going to my fuel pump once it gets here. Intercooler's mounted, welded in this bar here to hang it, and we'll support it from the bottom. Then it'll stick down below the bumper just a little bit. You'll end up seeing probably about this much hanging below the bumper, but I'll paint it black and you'll never notice it. These cars actually had a black air dam that hung down right there, so it'll look just like that. That's about it for updates. I'm slowly nitpicking at this thing. Wanted just to get everybody caught up to date and see where we're at. As you see, the garage, the boxes of stuff keep coming. I got so much more to unpack and do yet. I still have to get the intercooler piping figured out and plumbed. Wastegates done up and plumbed. Fuel system, rest of it installed once the pump gets here, and the lines and the electronics for all that. There's a lot more stuff coming. This is a undertaking. The Datsun wasn't quite even this involved because the Datsun was single turbo. So, and the Datsun seemed to have a lot more, believe it or not, the space and the stuff allowed was was a lot easier to work with than this car is, even though this car has more under hood room side to side. That don't really matter much. As you see, this is all just wasted space on the sides. Where the Datsun really helped out was the length. You know, that came from the factory with a long 6-cylinder in it. So anyway, that's where we stand, guys. Just wanted to get you up to date here the best I could. And we'll keep chugging away here, and I'll try to be better with the videos. Alright, small update on the Malibu's progress. The exhaust pipes are fully welded and done. One's partially wrapped. I'm going to wrap the whole things. Both turbos are officially plumbed on their hot and cold sides. The exhaust is done on both, and they are plumbed on their cold sides to the intercooler. This side here, you can see it comes down, curves out around the frame, and runs back alongside the exhaust. The exhaust will be wrapped. It won't transfer much heat into it. It's intercooled with alcohol anyway, so we'll end up wrapping the exhaust all the way down. Then this side goes down through as well. And then I should turn the wheel so you can see a little better, but I got this Y here. It's 2.5 there, 2.5 there, and that's where it came from the other side. They join together into a 3-inch. You see there, 3-inch Y, and 3-inch out to the intercooler. So intercoolers are plumbed on that side now. What I'm doing now is I'm going to drill a hole down in here, and this is where the charge pipe will go to the throttle body. I'm going down through a hole down in there. So still a lot to go. I got the oil drain lines on. Gotta get my timing cover welded up tomorrow with bungs, and that'll be done. Radiator's in. Well, it's not in the car now, but I made a bar across the bottom, as you see. These tabs at the top, and then there sits the radiator. It fits. Hoses work. Only have about 3 inches of clearance between the radiator and the exhaust pipes, so I got to find either a single 16 or like twin 10-inch fans that are thinner than 3 inches overall. That shouldn't be a problem. Now let's see. Oh, fuel system's in. Back at the back. I got my filter for a front here. 10 micron. It's going to go on the firewall. Decided to go a different route with the fuel system a little bit. I did have a return style truck fuel rail on here, but after researching it, I don't think that the regulator that was built in that can handle what I'm going to be doing, so I put back on the returnless style, and right here on the end of it I'm going to mount a regulator. It's on the way. It should be here soon, any day. And I'll put a regulator there, and then we'll tie over there to the fuel system, and I'll run a 3/8 return back to the tank. What was I going to show you? The fuel system in the back. Yes, that's done. Okay, here we go. So we have the sumped tank, line coming out into my Holly fuel pump. It's all hooked up, running up to the front. Just gotta wire it. Gotta get a relay. There's twin pumps in there, good for 1400 horsepower. Got a 100 micron filter right here on the end. So that's done. Oh, what else? Computer's installed and hooked up. Don't know if I told you guys that yet. That's, yeah, I did. I showed you that. That's up underneath there, hooked up. I think that's about all the updates we got. This has really been kicking my ass out here, getting this plumbing done and figuring out how to run everything and get it all done. So we have the turbos mounted for the final time, I hope. waste gates, got to get some tubing to plumb the waste gates. They're just going to go to atmosphere, but I want to get them vented down to the ground. Vacuum lines ran. Got a vacuum line off the main here, going to one of these things from the junkyard. It's just a distribution block with different size nipples. This goes to the gauge inside, map sensor. So pretty straightforward, pretty simple. All in all, looking pretty darn good. So that's the update for now. Just keep you guys kind of on page what's going on. So hopefully soon, in the next couple days, we have some more progress to report to. Get it if it blows up or doesn't. Take the beer can off. This can go there to monitor fuel pressure. Vacuum lines are shut, so I guess we can try to fire it. Day, just finishing up the bugs. Give you all a little update where we stand. 6 liter in here now, so the 5.3. Cam bearings went out on that 5.3 within like 3 days. No idea why. Put the same cam and heads and everything over on this 6 liter and been running it. Best time so far on street tune I slapped on it, and 10 pounds of boost is 972 at 137, 136.
Great, 926 at 145.